Hey, this is Chris Jericho, and you're listening to Awesome Pod, the only wrestling pod that I listen to.
It's Thursday, and you know what that means. It's Awesome Pod. It's Darcy the Mail Girl, Shorty Taylor, and Brendan Patrizzo. Explaining Dynamite and Rampage, we are here.
And Mistress Harley.
Raggedy bitches, welcome back. You are once again blessed by the Awesome Pod. We are not like other wrestling podcasts. And today it's another girls' night, all girls all the time. How fucking lucky are you? I am Mistress Harley, and I'm here with my gorgeous co-host, Diana Prince.
Why, hello, Mistress. How are you tonight?
When you talk saucy like that, I'm extra good. Yes.
Yeah. It's girls' night, baby.
Yeah. I want you guys at home to know we're in our jammies and we are touching each other. So think about that while you also think about AEW Collision from March 9th.
Woo!
Yes. This felt like a super throwback episode where I feel like they were paying homage to the great times and wrestling of Atlanta. I mean, everybody was in like throwback gear, the Atlanta Street Fight. I mean, there's a lot to cover.
So, question before we start. You asked during the Dynamite episode if there were different rules for the Atlanta Street Fight. Did you notice anything different?
I noticed that there were tables, there was fire, there were chairs,
yeah,
there
that's
was
not
fire.
Atlanta, right? I guess Atlanta burned down. Maybe that's the thing.
Oh, I mean, everywhere that burned down should have fire. San Francisco Street Fight should have fire.
Oh my
What
God.
about the place? Yeah, the Lady and the Cow, wherever the fuck that was.
Oh, Chicago.
Yeah. But I love fire. It was exciting.
Okay. On that note, I haven't gotten to see all of this yet because I had my own fire today.
Oh my God, you were on fire?
Well, no. I had a huge like carport fire, and like both my cars melted, and the fire department was here, and it was just like a huge thing. We thought like the whole house was gonna burn down, and like I don't know, it was insanity. So I'm a little bit behind watching wrestling, but I've watched some of it.
Okay, but you
meet our deadline.
You are okay.
Everything's cool. It's just really scary for like 20 minutes when we didn't know, and like the neighbors were like using their little hoses stretched out as far as they could to try to put it out, and the cars exploded, and like it was fucking crazy, and people were crying and screaming because it was spreading like to the neighbors, and it went fast. I didn't realize how fast fire can go, so I have like a whole appreciation for the table burning now. It's like, oh my
shit, I'm surprised that didn't. I'm surprised that didn't ding on my Citizen app. Usually when there's a bunch of hot firemen in one place, I get a notification.
There were actually hot firemen. Not gonna lie, but you know, I was more appreciative that they were there than of their appearance.
Fuck yeah, we're glad that you are okay.
Thank you, firemen. No,
thank
seriously.
You, firemen.
Like, we were like, shit, what we're gonna do? And everything was blocked off for a long time. Plus, with the Oscars, everything's blocked off. It's been quite annoying. So anyway, I have watched some of tonight, but you're gonna have to fill me out on the rest.
Okay, I'm going to fill you in on the rest for sure, and you're going to be able to watch the rest on your TNT app, or whichever app it is.
I use the Hulu app.
Oh, yeah, Hulu's great. So, we are all glad you're okay. Everybody tweet your fucking prayers that Diana is okay.
Oh, no. I'm just saying, wow, the irony with, like, all the fire talk. It's like, oh, speaking of fire.
Yeah, you must have been channeling that shit. But
I'm sorry, then.
I mean, it was nuts. It was nuts. But I love me some good old-fashioned street fights. But they started out with like a nice, I'm going to call it a slow dance between Bryan Danielson and Shane Taylor. And, you know, Danielson is a little guy and Taylor is a big guy. And they did the thing. They did the thing I always say where Danielson picked up Shane Taylor. So that was pretty impressive.
Aww. Did they really dance then?
I mean, it was wrestling, dancing, but it was a little slow. It was like they were kind of getting to know each other, making sure they didn't blow out their knees. It felt respectful. But then after Danielson somehow defying all the laws of physics pins Shane Taylor, Will Ospreay comes out and calls him a slut, which I loved.
He called him a slut?
Okay, he called him a slut in British. He called
What's
him
that?
He said, "You cheeky little slag." And for those of you that don't know, slag is slang in British for slut. So
love, not bringing out the British slang. I love this shit.
Oh,
I have to go
yeah.
back and watch him call him a slut. I love it.
Absolutely. Like Will Ospreay, he's got a real thick accent, bruv. He needs a white people translator or closed captions. They do this to other people with the accent. Give me full-time closed captions on Will Ospreay because, bruv, he sounds like he's got a bunch of potatoes in his mouth,
Oh my God, that was so good. But like for real, like an interpreter in the ring would not be a bad call for him.
Dude, that would be hilarious, actually. And especially, like, maybe interpreter of, like, a younger generation. Like, he's saying that the match is gonna smack, yo. Like, that would be fun.
My gosh. I feel like we need to pitch this. Well, they all listen to the pod, so they'll have an interpreter next week.
Of course. You can thank us for Will Ospreay's interpreter. But yeah, so he calls Daniel Bryan a slut in British, and then he talks about warm feelings in his belly, and yeah. And then he's like, maybe you want to ask me something. It was real flirty. But ultimately they're going to have a match at Dynasty. I think that's what's actually up.
Was it like a respectful back and forth, or was it what was the vibe?
No, he was like,
okay.
Brian was like, you've been calling yourself the best wrestler in the world, now you have to fucking prove it, and I'm gonna give you a chance to prove it. It was like a lot of toxic mask man talk.
I feel like he's proved it a lot, but okay, go on, Brian
Danielson. Dude, I mean, Ospreay's so over. The idea that he needs to prove it after being over and over and
by
over.
Being Brian Danielson? I mean, if he had done nothing else, maybe, but I don't feel like that's going to be like, well, now, definitively, he's the best.
No.
But okay, you know what? Go on, you little slag.
Yeah.
It matters.
Slag match. Slag match. Yes. We're here for the sluts on the Awesome Pod.
Yeah, we are. We are pro slut here.
Absolutely. No slut shaming on the Awesome Pod. Yeah, more slags in wrestling, I say.
I think there's a lot of slags in wrestling.
Ooh, that's a special episode.
It's a compliment.
Oh yeah, no, we're happy about it. Go sluts, go. So the next match, we had the Elite versus Liam Gray, Adrian Alanis, and John Cruz, and Okada was there. Ooh. And he tagged himself in right away. And it was pretty squash matchy for having that many dudes there. But who cares? It was good.
It sounds like it was a great exhibition for his first match in AEW.
Oh, yes, it was. And then it was like so fast. So the Elite wins, and then they're celebrating, and then Hobo Eddie Kingston. You never know when King of the Bums is going to rush in to attack. But then he gets beat down, and then Penta runs in to help. Like, it was a lot of clusterfuck. And then Pac's music hits, and then he comes in.
Pax? He hasn't been there in forever.
Yes! And then he eye fucks Okada, and when I say eye fucking, they're looking each other in the eyes, like, sensually and sexually.
Oh, I think we got that from eye fucking, but okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, last time you guys said I fucked Okada, so I had to be clear about it. Yeah. But the people seemed hyped with, like, holy shit chanting all through the ring. And then Pac got on the mic and was like, the bastard is back. And I have to say, his name in WWE was Nelville. And here, the bastard. The bastard is way better than Nelville. Nelville's like a Harry Potter reject. You know what I mean?
200%, yes. The bastard is just scary.
And so Kingston then demanded a 6-man tag team match for Dynamite next week. So, Yeah, I'll take it. I like the clusterfuck matches. I enjoy them.
I love the clusterfucks, man.
They're fun. It's like an orgy. You get to watch everybody like do that one trick they do real good, and then they get tired and lay down for a minute, you know.
I mean, it can be frustrating when there's like a certain wrestler or two that you really want to see a lot from, but overall they're super fun.
Yeah, it's a showcase. It's like
It's
a
definitely a
vaudeville
showcase.
exhibition.
It's a sampler platter.
Yes, we called it the appetizer or amuse-bouche last time we had a
Yes.
girls' night. Only on girls' night will you hear us call wrestling the amuse-bouche, right?
You will never hear me call it that.
Oh, well, don't worry, Diana. I'll amuse-bouche your mouth all night long.
Anytime, baby.
Ooh, only on girls' night. I'm glad the boys aren't here. Fuck them
Yeah.
boys.
Who needs boys?
I mean, really, don't they just slow things down with their needs? And they're talking, always talking. So
So much
speaking,
Beyonce talk,
oh yeah,
as
but
boys do.
oh they do. They love Beyonce. I think Brendan told us he is with Madonna tonight, and so I understand.
I was supposed to go to that, but whatever. Have fun, Brendan.
Yeah, enjoy Madonna. I think Johnny is on Twitter, so I don't know why he's not here. But we got
Whatever.
a women's
Girls'
match. Yeah, girls' night, and so women's match. Mariah May versus Trish Adora. Did you happen to see any of this one?
I think I saw the beginning where she came out in Tony Storm's gear again.
Yes, and she's like doing Tony Storm. So the whole match, she's doing Tony Storm's moveset. She's like posing and cheesecake modeling. Yeah, and of course, because she's trying to get the Tony with an I so we don't get sued award. And it was a really cute match, but it was also a really slow match. And I like Trish Adora, and like you were talking about previously, I just don't feel like she got much of an opportunity to show what she's made of. And Mariah May won the match, and then she won, yes, the first ever Tony with an I so we don't get sued award.
Oh, wow. So did Tony come present it?
Yes, Tony came out and presented it, and it was adorable. It was her shoe on a little platter.
Up.
Yes, and this is great because like people love my shoes. People beg me for my old shoes. They pay for my old stinky shoes. So giving somebody an old stinky shoe, that is a certain kind of simp award, if you know what I mean, and I think you do.
Well, then I think Mariah May was the perfect first winner of it.
Yeah. And okay, Tony Storm even kissed Mariah May on the mouth, and Mariah May fell down like an old-timey black and white. Like it was so cute.
Girls' night.
Girls' night. But then Deonna Purrazzo runs out and attacks from behind. And so Storm and May beat her up with the shoe. My favorite part is that May beats her up with the shoe, and then Storm puts her foot in the shoe so that she's now standing on top of Deonna Purrazzo.
Shut up. I have to go back and watch this. This is the shoe that was the award, right?
Yes, exactly.
It was also, what the fuck though? Like, damn, I thought we were done with that.
No, Deanna's never done. You know, girls just want a little bit of attention, and she wasn't in the limelight.
Girl,
and
you're pretty too. It's all good.
She didn't even do her hair. She came out in her comfy sweats, you know?
Well, you know, good for her.
She's body confident, sweatpants confident, but it was a great cinematic segment. These are the things I'm always asking for, so thank you for listening and giving me what I want here on the Awesome Pod.
All right, I am watching that as soon as we're done. That sounds amazing.
It was delightful, really. It was so cute. But then, okay, cute. Nick Wayne versus Adam Priest.
Was it a cute match?
It was a cute match, and of course the whole patriarchy was there. I know I'm high a lot. Who is Adam Priest?
Oh gosh, I don't know.
Can you
Google real fast?
We watched the show. I just don't remember him at all.
I don't either. It's not. I just assumed it was like a local person or something because I'm not familiar.
Maybe he is a local person. It was a pretty good match. Adam, if you listen to the podcast, come out in a priest cowl or a hat or something that says fucking priest.
I'm gonna Google this while you're talking. So
do it. Okay. So Nick Wayne won, but then Christian Cage saw a sign that he didn't like. I think it was an anti-patriarchy sign. And he took someone's sign and he threw it away. And then the person attacked Christian Cage from over the rail. I have to assume that that guy works there. You know, the guy was wearing a lucha mask. And then you start to
probably.
notice that the lucha guy is like way too tall and white to be maybe a luchador. And it turns out it is in fact Adam Copeland.
Oh,
Wearing,
wow.
yes. And
what a twist.
it was a twist. Like, why the lucha mask? Who did he steal it from?
Maybe so he could be out in the audience with no one knowing. Like, I know Jericho's done that a couple times.
That's true. It's true, but it's like way obvious to be like a 6'5" dude in a lucha mask. You're obviously not like, you know.
So I am on Adam Priest's Twitter.
Yeah, who is he?
All it says is athlete, Alabama.
Okay, so he doesn't work all the time at AEW. I don't feel as bad. I mean, I never feel bad for not remembering men. But, you know, for a minute I thought, shit, am I just so high I don't even know who works here?
No, I mean, sometimes, like, the smaller people that have only worked once in a while, it's hard to keep track of them. This, I think, was just somebody local that they threw in. It sounds like not a bad thing, but
no, hey, he got a shot on
don't know
TV, and he was a smaller person, meaning he made Nick Wayne look bigger.
Yeah, it looks like he does action wrestling. Yeah. Anyway, probably new. Did it say who's making his debut or anything?
No, but they said his name, and often they say, like, local talent, so hey, maybe they just, you know, were giving him the rub, said his name, he got a match with Nick Wayne, how nifty was that for him?
People and don't even say their names, and they're, like, local or whatever.
I feel bad for those people.
I do too, that's bad. I feel bad for Adam Priest that we don't know him, but we'll learn.
But do they not have branding, or do they have branding that they can't use? Or, you know, some people don't know about intellectual property and call themselves a Batman. And, you know, you can't have that.
I think they honestly just forget sometimes.
Although, okay, at Hood Slam in Oakland, I don't know if he's still there, but they had a wrestler called Bat Manuel, and Bat Manuel was incredible.
I am familiar with Bat Manuel, yes.
Yes, shout out to Bat Manuel.
And creative ass name, good for you.
Yes, and you remember stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. It stands out.
Exactly. And so ultimately, even though Nick Wayne crushed Adam Priest, thanks for coming, Adam Priest, you know, there was this
from Alabama.
Yeah, from Bama, a Bammer, Roll Tide. So Copeland is unmasked, which is, if he was a luchador, that would be shameful to be unmasked your first time in the ring.
Well, thank goodness he's not.
Yeah. And so Copeland is like, I want your stupid little mouth to get ready to say 2 words. And he had the box that says Spike on it, but we don't know what's in the box. And then he said more than 2 words. So I'm confused.
Wait, it says Spike, like a railroad spike?
It says that, yeah. Okay. Do you know what that is?
I guess it's a railroad spike.
But is it? It was way too big to be. He had a railroad spike in his hand, but the box was way too big. This box is like a moving crate. You'd put a violin in there, or...
I'm going to have to watch it and give you my opinion next time.
Yeah, I'm going to say you could fit 3 dead babies in a box this size.
Maybe it had 3 spikes in it.
Oh, snap. Are we going to get a railroad spike match?
Ooh, I'm down for that.
I don't even know if that's a thing, but I want it.
It can be a thing.
Yes.
An Atlanta railroad spike match.
Yes, brought to you by the Awesome Pod. Mistress Harley will be there with her hammer to hammer the spikes into the human men.
Ooh, okay. Yeah. Make it happen. See you in Boston.
Fuck yeah.
Just announced.
So after this, we get Crazy Eyes Mark Briscoe and Jeff Jarrett. I have to say, I really like Crazy Eyes. He has grown on me. And he and Jeff Jarrett were wearing the same pants.
Aww.
And In my mind, they're totally traveling together and living out of the same suitcase.
How could that not be right? That's the only thing it could possibly mean.
Right. And so he has some shit to say about FTR and blah, blah, blah. But then these guys called the infantry show up. And okay, they say they're the most popular, handsome, flyest, coolest tag team. Am I really high? Have you seen the infantry before?
I have, and they're fine.
Have they always worked here, Diana?
I think they just maybe had like a match or two before. Maybe they did dark. I definitely know I've seen them, but I don't know a lot about them.
Okay, it was totally like that feeling when you're at a college party and someone shows up and they act like they've seen you at 5 other parties and you're like, yeah,
Oh yeah, hi, infantry.
hey,
Yeah,
I totally remember you. Right, the guys.
Yeah, you are so the dude. Love you, infantry. Okay, bye.
Yes, and now everybody knows what it sounds like when a girl pretends she remembers you at a party. But yeah, I didn't remember them, but they seemed all right. And they had a little tension and the revival of the tag team division, and so I guess there's going to be some heat there. It wasn't clear.
Revival of the tag team division. Has it gone somewhere?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of thought the tag team division was hot.
I know. I feel like there's a lot going on. What the heck are they talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I guess they need to make themselves relevant. I get that. Men are always trying to make themselves relevant, but I'm interested in new
severely
talent.
lacking in tag team matches. That's definitely what I think about AEW.
Back at the WWE, when they had Teddy Long as the general manager, player, the joke was that he loved a tag team match. Every match was a tag team match. His Tony Khan big announcement was it was going to be a tag team match, player. And so I kind of feel like we get a lot of that at AEW, but I like it. I'm not complaining. Okay.
Oh, I'm not. I'm just shocked that someone said it needed reviving.
Well, they just needed an excuse. Like, we are at the party and we are here to make it different. God damn it.
We brought the keg, yo.
Yeah.
We had 1,000 of them already. We brought the keg.
Yeah. So I guess those men are all going to fight each other. But then we get a luchador match. And Diana, you know I love luchadors, right?
Lucha.
Mas lucha. And I really got a lot of exposure to the luchadors thanks to Lucha Underground, and I know that's not on TV anymore, but here we get Angelico from, I know him from Lucha Underground, and he got to keep his name, so he must own that shit. And then he fought Mystico, who I think was Sin Cara at WWE, but then Lucha's weird because you can sell your gimmick to like another person. And so I think he sold Sin Cara, which of course is faceless, the faceless one. And now he is Mystico. And it's really interesting. It's like if you could sell.
Super interesting. It makes sense because you're hidden. So,
yeah,
no one knows.
You sell the mask, you sell the gimmick. But it's weird to think that like Chris Jericho could sell Chris Jericho and then someone else could be Chris Jericho. You know what I mean?
Eddie Kingston just walks up like, I'm Jericho now.
That would be crazy. That would be a funny storyline. Well, like
it should be somebody more way far out. Let's see, like Stokely Hathaway.
Oh yeah, the artist formerly known as Stokely Hathaway.
I'm your Jericho now.
Yes. For those of you that remember the artist formerly known as Prince, you might know him as Prince. He had to change his name to the artist formerly known as because of an intellectual property dispute. And this shit happens in wrestling all the time. So
wait, is that why?
Yeah, because the record company owned the rights to all music by Prince. And so when he changed his name to a symbol and also the artist formerly known as, he was able to re-record all of his music and own it that way. And I think Katy Perry had to do the same thing.
Wow, that's amazing and horrible.
Yeah, so little business lesson here on the Awesome Pod. Always own your shit, as we say. So Místico, formerly Sin Cara, versus Angelico. Místico defeated Angelico. And Angelico is like a super tall white dude who is a luchador in the luchador style. And he does stuff with his tall body that like usually more compact people can do successfully and taller people can't. And so I'm always hella impressed that Angelico can pull off some of the moves because you're like, oh, you're too tall to do that flip, dude. But then he does.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah. And they had a cute little, show of respect where they raised each other's hands and had an ovation. It was
Aw.
cute.
How did the crowd, were they into lucha?
Of course.
Okay, cool.
Not only did the crowd seem into it, but they love respect.
Oh, that's true. We love sportsmanship.
We do love fucking sportsmanship. And
Gotta
yeah.
give the people what they want.
We really do. We really do. And, okay, then there was, like, a promo with Jeff Jarrett not knowing if he could trust Mark Briscoe, but Mark doesn't need to worry about trusting him. And then Jay Lethal doesn't know who to trust, but they're gonna win together. I gotta say, Jay Lethal, I've said this before, he's one of the hardest fucking working dudes. Like, he's just always working, and he's always taking the bumps. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
But he wrestled Ric Flair. I mean, he's a legend.
I think they both started no, they didn't. Never mind, I'm tripping. Never mind. But to not trust Mark Briscoe seems so funny. He just seems so like he'd be just like completely unaware, just like, oh, what?
Yeah, Mark Briscoe's, he's got a little bit of that Scooby-Doo vibe, meaning like the dog does not know what's going on. He's looking for sandwiches.
He's Scooby's cousin, Scooby Dumb, I think. Like, you can trust Scooby Dumb.
Yeah, Scooby Billy from the bum 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 bum.
What?
Yeah, he's a hillbilly, but also Scooby Billy.
Is he a real thing?
No, I made that up just now.
Scooby Dumb is real though. Look, if Mark Briscoe was a Scooby Doo character, it's gonna be Scooby Dumb.
Dude, the Scooby universe is intense. Like, John Cena's in the Scooby universe along with Sonny and Cher. If you've made it to Scooby, you are real.
There's a lot of WWE like crossover.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, Scooby is the zeitgeist.
Scooby's been on for... Wait a minute. This is going down the Scooby path. We don't need that.
Okay, too far down to Scooby.
Yeah.
Let us return to the incredible match between Chris Jericho, who came out in his like super retro throwback ring gear, and everybody who watches like wrestling was like, "That, yes, he did it, he did it."
I pop so hard every time he's Lionheart. I love that shit. I love that he's bringing in people that we wouldn't have cared about before and making us give a shit,
Yes, and I didn't even realize that he had such a illustrious lucha career.
Oh, yeah.
With all of these lucha greats, and so I like Mas Lucha, and so I love that he's bringing in all these luchadors, and so he had this match with Titan, and it was like flipping. There was so much flipping.
Okay. So when I was at the arena for Dynamite, and they announced that match was coming up for Collision, the whole crowd just went like, "Who?" To Teton Teton. But I feel like if they announce something like that, we should learn to just trust them. I think there should be like a parentheses underneath that says, "Don't worry, you'll see," or something like that, instead of people being like, "Huh?" Like, well, that's a letdown. We don't care, because it's always something baller. Like they have a reason for doing it when they announce it that far ahead, especially with somebody as established as Jericho. They have their fucking reasons. So learn to trust, because this was a fucking awesome match.
It was an awesome match, and I completely agree. I don't understand. It's like people who go to a restaurant and they just order the same thing over and over and over. And I always say, if you like this restaurant, why not try something else on the menu? Maybe other things are also delicious. And in wrestling, it's the same way, where some people just want to see the same match over and over and over again. Like, I want to see Bryan Danielson wrestle Claudio again.
Ew, I don't.
No, I don't. Like, I want new stuff. Give me a deconstructed Spam Musubi that I've never fucking seen before in my life. It's one of the reasons I like living in LA. All the restaurants are like that. And wrestling, when it's like that, it's great. It's like, hey, I've never seen Chris Jericho wrestle Titan. Who is this? This is completely new to me. It is not shit I've seen before. And that's fun.
Yeah, and Teton was a delicious entree or whatever.
He was a
I give you your
delicious
food analogy.
he was a delicious spinning tornado DDT double stomp from the top rope.
Okay,
Like,
there you go.
he was
Yes, he
incredible.
was.
And Jericho, he's not just a good technical wrestler, he is an actor with his face. Meaning that when the
Yes.
camera zooms in on his face, you can see that he's like frustrated that there's this luchador like flipping around him. And Jericho keeps trying to kind of grab him and make him submit, but Titan is too flippy.
Too much flipping.
And you can see that emotion on his face of like, fucking, if I could just fucking get this guy to fucking...
Frustration. Like, extreme frustration.
Yeah, and Jericho did win in the end, but it was a very theatrical match, meaning there was so much going on and there was emotions, and I like that.
Yeah, and to have emotions from somebody you just learned about just now is amazing. The crowd, although a bit betrayful, was chanting, Teton, because he was fucking, you can't deny, he was fucking killer in the ring. Like, bring more, like, come back, Teton.
I appreciate that about most wrestling crowds. You can win them over, even if they don't know who you are, even if you're stranger to this territory, even if you're a Yankee in the South. If you can do something great enough, if you can throw your body onto thumbtacks and bleed, if you can jump off the top rope into the fucking cement, like, we give you respect.
We will cheer you. Yeah.
Yes.
Teton earned our respect, and Jericho too, because bringing all these dudes in is just super cool. I love this whole like Lionheart arc that they're doing with him.
And he's really putting people over, not just some of the luchadors he's bringing in from CMLL, but then after he defeats Titan in this match, Gates of Agony run to the ring to attack Jericho while he's kind of like tired. He's just wrestled this match.
Yeah,
he's kind of catching his breath.
Move.
Yeah, it's such a dick move. And then just like at the last episode when Jericho ran in to save Hook, Hook ran in to save Jericho with the kendo stick. And Jericho's watching and he's like, okay, all right, this is all right. I just won. Hook's helping me out. Everything is under control.
That was super cute. Like, Hook, they just kind of like did a long distance look of respect. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
you.
That's like when you're at the party and you're there with a friend and maybe shit's going on or things are feeling shady and you kind of check in with each other across the room. Like, you all right? I'm all right. You all right? Okay, good.
Oh my God, it's so like that.
Yeah, you got to have each other's back, whether you're at the party or in the ring.
So go Hook. Hook Jericho was the team up I didn't know I needed, but I am happy to have it.
I agree. I like it. And it's kind of like, it feels a little bit like Hook is being taken under Jericho's wing. And Jericho's obviously the established, talent that has experience. And Hook is still a little new. He's great, but he's new.
And he needs a mentor, so I'm here for it. You can't get better than Jericho as a fucking mentor.
I mean, yeah, man. Learn how to play the guitar or wrestle or like sing a rock ballad. I would let Jericho teach anybody any of that. But then afterwards, you can't follow this match. So then we get like an FTR interview with Tony Schiavone because they're like, all right, we can't have wrestling after that. People will not be happy. You can't follow a great act. So
You need a little palate cleanser.
Yeah, exactly. So FTR, they want the tag team title, and Dax Hardwood is like, we're going to be the greatest tag team of all time, but that's it. It was unexciting. But the main event, the like House of Black, Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, Mark Briscoe, it was a fucking pandemonium melee. It was great.
Yeah.
I mean, there were
Atlanta Street Brawl.
Yes, Street Fight, Atlanta Street Fight. I mean, when you say Atlanta, I think sweaty, I think muggy, I think really hot, and so there was fire. That's why it was hot. I guess.
Atlanta.
Hot Atlanta. And so there were tables, and the tables were in fact set on fire. There was one table, okay, I think it was Buddy Murphy had the lighter fluid, and he was like putting the lighter fluid on, and then eventually Julia Hart comes out, and she's trying to light the tables on fire, but one table did not have enough lighter fluid on it.
Oh
It was
no.
like little drops, and she's like trying to light it on fire, and Buddy Murphy sees, and he's like, sorry, I'll let me fix that, and puts more lighter fluid on the table. But it was great, though. It was really cinematic, satisfying. There was like, okay, Briscoe, I know he was supposed to go through a table. There was one point where he completely missed the table and landed on a bunch of chairs.
Oh,
And
shut up.
I feel like, I don't know. Is he okay? Crazy Eyes, tweet at us. Tell us if you're okay.
You dumb. Are you okay?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like if he's not okay, it will just make him crazier, right?
Agreed. It's like it's not fair to say I'm not concerned, but I think he's going to be fine.
I feel like maybe Briscoe is going to get like a Marvel supervillain kind of story arc where just something really fucking terrible, like his whole body's going to be set on fire, and that's how he's going to become the most terrifying, dominant wrestler of all time.
It would take a lot to make that happen because he's just such an adorable little dude. Like, it's so hard to take him seriously as like some big bad like that, but you know.
It's true. He's a little bit like the dog that won't stop barking, but it's not like a real big dog, and you're like, oh, silly little thing.
Have a bone, little man. It's okay.
But, you know, maybe he's due for a different kind of greatness. I've started sending the Awesome Pod team little wrestling history facts, and today's wrestling history fact was about the various presidents involved in wrestling, so maybe Mark Briscoe could be president.
Wait, what was our facts? Tell me.
Okay, so Abraham Lincoln, I've talked about him before. He was a professional wrestler before he was president. His gimmick was Old Hickory. And one of the wrestling matches, after he won, he defeated his opponent. And he screamed at the crowd and issued an open challenge. He said, I'm the biggest buck of this lick, and if any of you want to try it, come on and wet your horns.
Do we know that's true?
I mean, this was from a 2013 article in Sports Illustrated. I assume they actually have sports journalists, but I don't know.
Well, then that's amazing. I'm assuming it's 1000% accurate.
I'm going to assume it's their job to know sports shit. But he was not.
How could anybody know?
Well, because of the record, dude. Like everybody writes about the presidents.
So, like, somebody wrote it in like a newspaper back in the day.
Oh, yes. I mean,
that's so cool.
These were publicly attended events. They were reported on. And so Abraham Lincoln wasn't the only president to be involved in pro wrestling. George Washington was an accomplished grappler and master of the British style of wrestling known as collar and elbow. William Taft, our Zaftig large fucking president, was a two-time undergraduate champion at Yale. Fleming also recounts the exploits of Andrew Jackson, Zachary Taylor, Ulysses S. Grant, Chester A. Arthur, Theodore Roosevelt, and don't forget, Donald Trump has been in the ring. He actually shaved Vince McMahon's head once at a match. So, you know, professional wrestling is a big part of American history, god damn it.
Fuck yeah. Those are some good facts.
Yeah, so those are your history of wrestling facts for the day. How should we rate this episode, Diana?
Oh, wow, we're at the end already?
Yeah, I mean, the main event was the crazy Atlanta street fight.
Well, fuck, okay. I feel like it has to be something with fire, because it's been a fire-filled kind of day.
Okay, I think we should rate it in fires. Fire.
Just fire. Straight up fire.
Straight fire. I give it 3.5 fires.
Okay. I have not seen the whole thing, but I'm going to give it 4 because it sounds pretty fucking baller. And what I saw was great.
It was 4. I am getting a psychic message from Brendan. He's giving it 4.5 Beyonces. The psychic message from Johnny and the Ghost is they give it 5 fires and they loved it and they have no complaints ever and they can't even contradict me because they're not here. Haha.
5 fires. 5
fires.
All right, you want to give out some awards?
I do want to give out some awards. My Dewey Riley Hero of the Week is Hook, who ran out and reciprocated the favor that Chris Jericho gave him of saving him when he was unfairly attacked.
Love that. Oh, wow. What about the John Holmes Dick of the Week award? Because I know, because we forgot to mention that Karen Jarrett got the miss.
I did totally forget to mention that.
That seems like a huge thing. It might be, you know what I mean? Like, has anybody gotten the miss and not turned? I don't think so.
That's a really good point. Yeah, during the patriarchy, Nick Wayne, during that whole segment, there was Shania Wayne. She got the mist. And so
No. Karen Jarrett got the
Oh, Karen Jarrett got the miss.
Yeah.
Shit, you're right. You know what? It's too many gorgeous women in sparkly jumpsuits.
So that'll be interesting if Karen goes, completely dark side.
I would love that. And talk about soapy. It's kind of like Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth. I love a good, ridiculous breakup, get back together, make the relationship part of the wrestling. Oh my God, if they wrestle, like divorce or marriage, whichever one of them wins, like, yes.
That would be interesting. She did wrestle, I think, at least once since she's been around in AEW.
I feel like I've seen her wrestle. I've seen her take bumps. I mean, she got the miss.
Definitely bumps. But I couldn't remember if she has had a full match yet, but I think so. Did she ever wrestle Aubrey? They were doing that whole rivalry thing.
I honestly can't remember. I feel like I've seen her wrestle, though. I feel like I've seen it.
Well, she looks like she's in wrestling shape. So if you have or haven't, let's bring it. And I prefer the blackness version. Let's bring the evil Karen Jarrett.
Yes, kill all of the Jedi babies.
Evil, but the reason I brought that up is because that could be a contender. Julia Hart with the miss as Dick of the Week.
That's true.
But the Gates of Agony coming out to beat the fuck out of Jericho when he's fucking tired already. How dare you?
And why?
Yeah.
Like, is there a beef there that I forgot about because I'm high?
I'm sure they'll explain it. I'm sure he fucking stepped on their toe or some stupid thing.
Well, this is always the problem. When you're at the top, there's always haters. They hate you for no reason. They hate you because you're pretty. They hate you because your abs are better than theirs. They hate you because you're el corazón de león. And so, I guess they don't need a reason to hate Jericho because they're just trying to get a step up, right?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe it's even just establish themselves and have us take them seriously again. Because before, Gates of Agony yawn,
I
now
agree.
It's like, oh no, Gates of Agony. Now I have beef with you, sirs.
Yes, I agree with you. I'm going to give an honorary dick to Gates of Agony because I agree. But I was going to give it to Deonna Purrazzo, who ran out and attacked from behind while Toni Storm was giving out her Tony Award. That was like a real Will Smith, Chris Rock situation.
She interrupted the ceremony. That is very dickish.
It was an award.
And on Oscar weekend, what were you thinking?
Yeah.
So many dicks this week.
Seriously, I live only a few miles from where they do the Oscars, which is next door to the Man's Chinese Theater, which I know they make it look like super sexy and glamorous on TV, but it is a mall. It's like an outdoor mall. And I always forget it's Oscars week until the fucking traffic. And then I'm like, oh shit, the Oscars.
I live like literally a mile from it down the road. It's where I go to the gym, and like everything is so hard. For the last 2 weeks, it's been hard to get around at all. But this weekend has been insanity. I don't think I can get into my gym right now.
No. Girl, come hide in the bunker with me and we will order Thai food and wait for the Oscars to be over.
Okay, but we don't have to watch them, right? Because it's really boring.
No, fuck the Oscars. I don't watch that. We watch Shudder all weekend. Me and my girls, we watch Shudder and we watch The Last Drive-In because the Oscars are boring.
Okay, so what else do we have? We have the Freddy versus Jason match or showdown of the week.
I'm giving it to Jericho and Titan. Like, it seemed like the crowd was the most into it.
Wow,
it was the most fun.
Over the main event? Over the firefight?
The thing, okay, I'm going to justify and say
Okay.
it was a real showdown. It was a mano a mano, real, like, lucha style match. And yes, the fire tables were awesome, but it was mayhem. It was pandemonium. It was, to quote Gorilla Monsoon, it doesn't matter. Ultimately, kind of, it was so much going on, it was hard to watch. Not because it wasn't good, just because there was a lot.
That is a very fair point, and me trying to skim watch it really fast before we started this, I got that feeling. Like, I knew the fire tables were there, so I was like, bam, that's amazing. But the rest, it was hard to pinpoint exactly. It was great. I loved watching it, but the like pure just watching the match entertainment value, I think, is to Teton Jericho. So.
Yeah, and don't get us wrong, fans. We're not hating on fire tables or Atlanta
No,
Street
we
Fights.
love fire tables. It's just
Yeah.
the rest is kind of not bad, just a lot to process.
I just feel it wasn't quite the showdown. That's why I'm like, Jericho Titan, that was a showdown.
That
The
is a
Atlanta
fair
Street
way to
Fight,
explain it. Yeah,
that was a melee pandemonium fucking mess, and I loved it. It was a big fucking mess that I loved.
a
Yes.
big fucking pandemonic mess. Exactly.
You
And
know,
so
when you're
I like the succinctness of the Jericho Teton, because that was just really just drew me in and just introduced me to someone I wasn't aware of that I'm now a fan of. So I
Yeah.
love that.
I'm going to honorary mention the main event as the hot mess match, meaning
Hot
like
mess, yeah.
hot mess. You know the
Hot
entertainment
mess,
you
hot
get
mess.
when one of your friends calls you and they're just like their entire life is in shambles? It was like that.
Yeah, but like, in a much more fun way.
Yeah, like that, yes. So, Ric Flair Fashion Award. I know you did not really get to catch all of the show, but you did a little skim, right?
I did skim. But so you said there's a lot of throwback outfits though, right? Did anyone stand out to you?
I mean, of course, Jericho's outfit made everybody pop. I'm like looking at my notes trying to go like, okay, Angelico looked like he was going to a blacklight rave where there was also going to be like a fishing hole in the ice. And so I don't know what outfit that was, but
Oh
I
my
just
gosh.
I have to honorary mention his ridiculous outfit. Even somebody on Twitter, I want to say it was like a black wrestling dude, probably wrong, but he was like, "What is this outfit?" And we had a funny back and forth about it.
Aw.
Oh, also because
Was
Tony
it
Khan.
Matt, the black wrestling something?
Yeah, I think
I love that
so.
dude. He says funny shit all the time.
Yeah, you're a funny guy. But
Yeah.
if you guys don't follow Awesome Pod on Twitter, I know that Tony Khan loves Time Cop. He talks about it all the time. And so I
Aw,
refaced his
the
face
time.
onto an image from Time Cop that you will not want to miss. And once you see it, you
Aw.
cannot unsee it. So go
I'm
check
gonna
that
go
out.
retweet that, and I feel like Tony Khan's gonna like hang it up in his house or get a tattoo of it or something. Because why the fuck does he talk about Time Cop so much? It's so weird. But oddly enough, makes me want to go rewatch it. Maybe he's making a remake and he's like getting us all hyped for it or something.
I hope he is. I think Time Cop's a great movie, and I don't think it's weird to talk about your favorite movies at all. I'm a movie nerd.
Oh,
like
I don't either, but like literally he'll come out, and hyping up the show or thanking us for the show and be like, and by the way, Time Cop, am I right?
yes.
But you get it. It's a great movie.
Look, if I was Tony Khan, I would be like, I want you to know I booked all these matches while I was thinking about Lady Battle Cop and how women are not just made for tennis. And if you don't get that reference, go watch Lady Battle Cop immediately.
Ooh, I wonder if he would get it. We'll find out one day.
It's a great film. It's an excellent film. It's Lady RoboCop, but Japanese. It's so good.
We should go to one of the pressers at one point and just ask Tony Khan if he's seen that.
Yes, I would do that. Give me the
Just
press
give me a
badge.
Time Cop. Have you seen?
Yes, we know you like movies about police and science fiction, and so I would like to just go down a list and say yes, no. Do you like the following films?
Oh my god, goals. Let's do this shit.
Yes.
Next LA, we're getting press.
RoboCop, Lady Battle Cop, Time Cop. What was Mantis is the one with the dude who's in a wheelchair and has an exoskeleton. Like, there's so many.
I would love to know how many he's watched and how strongly he feels about them. These are
Yes.
the important questions we need to know.
I mean, this is the stuff we care about. We're esoteric and highly intellectual bitches.
What are people even asking him in press conferences if they aren't asking him this?
Oh,
Like,
I know they're asking him boring stuff like,
Right,
how are the
exactly.
Jaguars this season?
Blah, blah, blah.
All right. Oh, shit. Did we get to the Ric Flair Fashion Award?
Oh, no, we did not.
I gave it to Angelico because of his ridiculous neon fisherman's hat. How about you?
Let's just go. Well, see, I already gave it to Chris for his Lionheart outfit on Wednesday, and I can't do that again. So I will say that Karen Jarrett, when I saw her get her black mist, I loved her little like jumpsuit that she had. I was like, I would totally wear that just in life. So
I did that
Karen
too.
Jarrett.
You and I do the same thing when we're watching wrestling. I'd wear that. I would
wear so much of what they have. And I remember that standing out as one I would like to purchase. So let me know, Karen.
Yeah, please tweet at us, Karen. So I guess it's time for promos because that was the show. What are you promoing this week, lovely Diana?
I have to apologize. I feel bad that I did not get to watch this, but hopefully we whet people's appetites who haven't seen it yet, and they'll go back and watch it, as I will be doing.
Yes, so that is your promo. Your promo is watch the show.
Exactly. Watch the fucking show. It's amazing. And then watch Rampage if you haven't. Like that I was there for live. And it was a really fun fucking episode. So if you haven't seen Rampage, go back and watch that for sure.
All right. Good promo. I guess will cut the...
But for real, I have to promote that Last Drive-In season premiere is next Friday night. And starting Monday, I'll have to be pimping it out like crazy. So watch that. So
hell yeah.
I did my job of promo.
Is that on Shudder and AMC Plus?
It is. Thank you. At 9 p.m. Eastern time.
Fuck yeah. I'm a big fan of The Last Drive-In. So
thank you.
I am Mistress Harley. I can be found on Spotify, Pandora, all the places. You can Google me. There's a knowledge panel about me. Click all the links and shit. Find me on the internet. She is Diana Prince, also Darcy the Mail Girl. Our other co-hosts are lame and are not here. But you can tweet at us at the Awesome Pod. Oh, Dicks of the Week, people who don't show up for the podcast. Boo!
Hey, I had a fucking house fire today and I showed up. So
yeah, Diana's house was literally on fire and she showed up for the podcast.
Woo, and I still watched some of the wrestling.
And you watched some of the wrestling. That's more than Brendan
can do. Man.
Yes. Well, you know what? Girls are just more committed than boys.
Girls are like very much known for being more hardcore wrestling fans. It's just facts.
Oh yeah, and we can take the pain that the men can't. I mean, it's also true.
Fair.
Yes. So now that we've called out all the people we know and burnt all of our bridges, tweet at us, catch us next time on the Awesome Pod, and Namaste W.
Namaste W, Mistress.